It's Wednesday, my dudes, and it's been a heck of a Wednesday. Alright, I need to focus. Come on, brain, focus. Alright. Hey, Shrimpy! It's alright! Welcome, welcome! Sorry, I was running late today, too. It took me an hour to get home, rather than the usual, like, 20 minutes. There was one of the intersections with street lights or traffic lights had they were the flashing red, so they were basically stop signs on a major artery road that goes through my area during basically rush hour when everyone's trying to get home. So it took me like 30 minutes to go 3 miles. Oh yeah, because there's only like one really efficient way for me to get to work, unfortunately. Because there is like an alternate route, but I think it would like double the commute, and I'd have to go through like a toll road, and I don't have a toll pass because I really don't need one. Luckily, the line at Taco Bell wasn't too long tonight. They're always pretty good about getting my food pretty quickly when I go through drive-thru. So I was planning on getting Taco Bell on the way home anyway. Typically on like Mondays or Wednesdays, usually Wednesdays, I stop and get something to eat on the way home because I have to stream so soon after getting home. I can't really make anything. Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to cut back on my takeout habit, meaning having food delivered to where I live, which means I have to pick up my food. Takeout gets expensive. Yeah, I think on average, just for me to order food, it's like a minimum $30 an order these days. So if I go to pick up food, it's about half the price. Okay. Oh, I swear I switched that category. Thank you so much. See, this is what happens when you're in a rush. There we go. Done. Okay, there we go. No, because I got home and I came downstairs to get all set up. And then I got all the stream posts ready, got the stream up and running for like the 15-minute like prologue, the starting screen. And then I scarfed down my chicken chalupas and a taco and my nacho fries. Because I have a new favorite item on the Taco Bell menu after like 10 years. Not 10. Whenever they discontinued the extra large grilled stuffed burrito, which I think was like 2019 or something. 2019, 2018, around that era. But that was my go-to for like 10 years. And I've been trying to find something on their menu that I've liked since. And it is now the chicken chalupas. Okay. Gonna just... Come on. In flight. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Ugh. Orb. Would you believe me if I told you I actually researched what kind of bird to have this druid turn into? Well, so, Taylor Kane's, like, main, country, Lenari, is heavily based off of Ireland. So, I routinely research Irish wildlife. Like, I've gone so far as researching at what point in the year can you fish and hunt certain game. Okay. So this bird is the, I think, black-headed gull. Right? It's really cute. Well, like, I picked that one because, one, I like how it looks. Two, Brynrun, the city they're in currently, is a coastal city. So it made sense for a druid to pick a seagull if they're trying to make an escape so they can, like, blend in with the nearby wildlife. Yeah, yeah. So there we go. That looks better. I know, the magic and the lighting turned out really good. I'm so proud of it. I need to get back to working on Reservation for 3 at some point. There's a few different comic creators that I follow where comics is like their full-time job. So they do like, I think they always have at least 2 comics going at the same time, and they're always planning for the next one that comes after like one of their projects is done. And I'm just like, I wish I could do that. I mean, it's a lot of hard work. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but I'm like, man, I miss the days where I could just sit and draw comics all day. That was mostly COVID. Like, I think back during, like, the height of COVID, I could crank out a comic page, like, every other day. Like, full color and everything. Like, at least every 3 days, I could do a page. Like, I have a lot of ideas. I just don't have time. Hey, Mug! It's been... The drive home from work was crazy. And, like, I got real tired at work today, so I took a nap during my 15-minute break. Hi, Hyrion. Welcome. Yeah, COVID was either a boon or a bust for a lot of creatives. For me, it was a good, like, I lost one of my jobs during COVID. So for me, I was like, cool. Oh, Tria Elf is one of them. They do a lot of like fantasy art. Let me see if I can find their socials real quick. I like a lot of their stuff. Here we go. I'll put in their Insta. Tria is an artist I've kind of been following. Like, admittedly, I'm not caught up on a lot of their work. I'm very much like a passive fan, I guess. I support them in their endeavors, even if I can't read all of their endeavors. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Like, there's also the Starfish Face. I like a lot of their work. I've been reading their webcomic off and on. I really need to catch up. I backed their Kickstarter for the first volume of their webcomic. And I have yet to actually sit down and read it. For me, collecting comics is a very different hobby than actually sitting down to read said comics. There we go. Tonight is mostly sketching. There we go. Oh, you bet. I mean, Valera has gone through so many iterations. When I first started designing and creating her. She originally started off as a bard. Like, she was like, the original idea was that she was traveling the world. And then, like, there was a rendition where she was of noble birth, so she was like a little bit more like princess-like, like a little snooty. Didn't really know how the world worked. Current Valera is very aware of how the world really works. Oh yeah. Venorin used to be a merchant. Venorin hasn't really changed too much personality-wise. He's just been a bit more proactive. No, not necessarily proactive. A very passive protagonist at this time. But yeah, he used to be a merchant. He's always been a fancy boy, but he was a merchant when I first started. Yeah, he's a little princess. I might put the early art of all of the characters up on Patreon at some point. You want to know the biggest change? Out of all the characters? Fenric used to be white. Yeah. Fenric started off as Caucasian, with a crossbow, short, dirty blonde hair. I think I gave him brown eyes. I never fully colored Fenric's early art. But then I drew the prototype, the first draft of Fenric's mom, Maji. Back then her name was Jane. And I made her a woman of color. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to change Fenric's design to better suit the fact his mom's a woman of color. So I did. Kane, for the most part, has pretty much stayed the same. I don't even know if I have any of my early drawings of Kane. Because a lot of the early ones of Kane were like doodles on scrap paper while I was working in a movie theater. Because originally Kane was heavily based off of Rey from Star Wars, the sequel trilogy. I might have some of my sketchbooks lying around with my very early designs for a lot of the characters. Oof. When I used to work on my Nuzlocke comic, a lot of those pages were planned out on pieces of paper when I worked at a bakery. Like, I might actually still have some of those lying around if I didn't throw them out. Because, when I worked at a bakery, we had these, like, little, very vertical aligned, notepads lying around. Mostly for, like, writing down orders, taking notes, leaving notes, math. Because I managed a lot of the inventory at that job. So I'd scribble down my numbers on them, but in my downtime, like, you know, between counting, like, trays and trays of cookies, I would be, sketching out, in pen, comic pages. Because, in the years I've been doing art and all that fun stuff, I have found that when I sketch in pen, I'm more concerned with form and, like, just getting the idea down versus, like, it needing to be perfect, unlike when I work with a pencil. Like, when I do my anatomy sketches and studies during my lunch breaks, it's all in pen. like, I mostly do pen. They're not good sketches. They're not very, well, okay. Some of my studies, the more simple ones, can look pretty decent. I've done a pretty decent cut, portraits and hands in pen. But that's usually when I'm in the zone and I've been practicing. Because when I used to work at the movie theater, I would also doodle on scraps of paper there. And I always carried a pen with me. Again, to take notes. Because usually when I was an usher, I would just write down the times the movies let out for me to clean on my hand. So I wouldn't forget. Like, the amount of times I'd come home from work and one of my family members would be like, you know, there's this thing called paper. And I'm like, yeah, but, you know, it's harder to lose your hand than it is a piece of paper. And it comes off with, like, hand sanitizer, soap, or rubbing alcohol, so it's not, like, a big deal. Hi, Danimal! Welcome, welcome! Yeah, it is certainly harder to lose a limb than it is to lose paper. So, even at when I have to, like, do a certain special errand and everything, I write it down on my hand while I'm at work. Like, if it's something I gotta do after work, I write it down so I don't forget. It goes on my hand. And when I was in, like, middle school, my teachers quickly found out that I should be in an art class, because at that particular middle school, art was an elective, and electives took place during study hall. And because I had an IEP, I had to have a study hall, technically. But after, like, I think my first, like, semester at that school, they quickly learned, I need to have art classes. Because I was drawing all over myself. Like, on my hands, on my pants, on my desk. They had to put it in my IEP that I had to have an art class. No, but that's like a really good way to learn. I listen. I really, really wanted a doodle bear when I was a kid. I never got one. Okay. Thank you. I was just trying to figure out how to show wild shape. Nope. I might actually end the stream a little early tonight. I'm getting very tired. Let's go for like another 15 minutes. Oh yeah, I've been feeling tired all day. Okay, where do I even start? You know what? I might just end it here. My brain is starting to go out on me. Brain not working. And hey, I got like 4 of the 5 panels sketched. Next week's my week off too. And I've got a lot of work to do this weekend. I gotta prep for a show next weekend. So I think this is where we're gonna leave it for tonight. Yeah, I think this is where we're gonna leave it for tonight. Let's see who we're gonna raid into. I just have to print off a couple of prints, because it's a small college convention, so it's like a one-day event. So I gotta print off some more of like my lesbian Pokemon pride flags, because I'm almost out of those. I need to print off the pan variety of those, and I also need to print off some senshi soup. So quite a bit. All right, who are we gonna raid into tonight? I really hope the senshi soup goes well. Who am I going to raid into? Oh, this person's also working on webcomics. So we're gonna raid into this person. We're gonna raid into Mana. Looks like they're also working on their webcomic. So we'll raid into them. We'll raid into a random person today. Next week is my week off from streaming, so I'll be back on March 2nd, with, knock on wood, with Merch Monday. Until then, have a lovely day, have a lovely night, stay hydrated, take care of yourselves, and I'll see y'all again soon.